to find qx, so we know that p of x divided by x minus 2, that will give us qx after all these operations, so we get r of x, right? So to do this, so what we need to do is we just use px divided by x minus 2. So I just go px, which is x to the power 3 plus 2x squared minus 3x minus 7. So we divide by x minus 2. Then we go x power 3 divided by x, that give me x squared. Then we just go x squared times x and x squared times 2. So x squared times x is x to the power 3. And x squared times negative 2, so minus 2x squared. And then we just minus it. So x power 3 minus x to the power 3, we cancel it out. And 2x squared minus negative 2x squared becomes 4x squared. And then this negative 3x, I just bring this down, minus 3x. And this negative 7x, I just minus this down. Now 4x squared divided by x. So that is 4x. And then we just go 4x times x and 4x times negative 2. So 4x times x is 4x squared. And then 4x times negative 2, so give me negative ax. And we just minus it. So 4x squared minus 4x squared is cancelled out. Negative 3x minus negative ax is 5x. So the answer is 5x. And this negative 7, we just write this down, minus 7. Now 5x divided by x is 5. So plus 5. And then we go 5 times x is 5x. And 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. And then we just minus it. So 5x minus 5x is 0. Negative 7 minus negative 10. So that is 3. So that is the remainder. So there you go. The remainder is 3. So the answer is correct. So therefore, qx is equal to x squared plus 4x plus 5. So just write this down. There you go. That's the answer. Of course, there are another way to do this. So let's do a different way. So see if we get the same answer. So let me write out the question first. So we have px, that is x to the power 3 plus 2x squared minus 3x minus 7 is equal to x minus 2 and times qx. Now, since this is power 3 and this is x, so therefore, if we times qx, so it should be x squared. And the coefficient of x power 3 is 1, so therefore, it should be x squared. And the next term, it should be x, right? Because after x squared will be x. And we do not know the coefficient of x, so we just write a, x. And of course, we add a constant, so which is b. We don't know what that is, so plus b. And of course, we add 3. So this is q of x. Now we just pick any value of x in for both left and right hand side, and we just solve for a and b. So let's say if x equals 0, so this means that on the right hand side is negative 7. So just write if x is equal to 0. So this means that 0 minus 7 is equal to, and 0 minus negative 2 is negative 2. And 0 squared is 0, and 8 times 0 is 0 as well. So we live with 0 plus b. And of course, we add 3. So now we just solve the equation. So this is negative 7 is equal to minus 2b and plus 3. Then if I move the negative 2b on this side and then the minus 7 on this side, so that means 2b is equal to, now negative 7 move on the other side, become positive 7. So 3 plus 7 is 10. Then I just divide by 2 on both sides. So b is equal to 5. There you go. Now we just solve for a. To do this, I can pick any number. So I just pick 1. It's easier. So when x is 1, so this means that 1 power 3 on the left hand side is 1. And then 2 times 1 square is 2. I just add 2. Minus 3 times 1 is 3. And we minus 7, of course. And on the right hand side here is 1 minus 2 is negative 1. So just write negative 1 here. And 1 square is 1. And a times 1 is a. So just write a. And then plus b. Now in this case, b is 5. So we add 5. And don't forget the remainder, which is 3. Now I'll just solve the equation. So you go 1 plus 2 is 3. And with this 3, we cancel out. So we leave with negative 7. And negative 1, I'll just write minus. And we have 1 plus 5 is 6. So that is a plus 6. And plus 3. Now I just move the 3 on the other side, which is this side. That becomes negative 3. So minus 7 minus 3 is negative 10. And which is equal to a plus 6. And then that becomes 10 is equal to a plus 6. I just multiply by negative number on both left and right hand side. So therefore, a must equal to 4. So therefore, q of x is equal to x squared plus ax. A is 4. So 4x and plus b. And b is 5. There you go. So you can do either method. Okay, so you should get the same answer, which is x squared plus 4x plus 5. And this is x squared plus 4x plus 5. Now, next one. So if you think you can do it, of course, pause the video, try it yourself. Otherwise, just watch how I do it. Now, if px is divided by x minus 3, the remainder is 12. So this means that p of 3 is equal to 12. Okay, please take note on this. And we need to find the remainder when px divided by x plus 1. So in another word, we need to find p of negative 1. So before we do this, of course, we need to find the value of a first. So by using this condition here. So let's get into it. So we know that p of 3 is 12. So I just write 12 is equal to 3 to the power of 3 is 27. So I just write 27 minus 3 squared is 9. And then times a is 9a. And then we plus x. X is 3. Then we just solve the equations. So 27 plus 3 is 30. So 12 is equal to 30 minus 9a. And then what I do, I just move this negative 9a on this side and the 12 back to this side. So negative 9a move on the other side becomes positive 9a. So that becomes 9a. And then 12 move on the side, so it becomes negative 12. So 30 minus 12. So 30 minus 10 is 20. Minus 2 is 18. So just write 18. And then I divide 9 on both sides. So if I divide by this by 9, this must be divided by 9. So therefore, I is equal to 2. So now, we know the polynomial px. So therefore, p of x is equal to x to the power of 3, x to the power of 3 minus ax squared. But a is 2. So therefore, minus 2x squared and plus x. There you go. That is the polynomial of px. Then we need to find p of negative 1. So p of negative 1 is equal to negative 1 to the power of 3 minus 2 lots of negative 1 square minus 1, because plus minus 1 is minus 1. And that will give me negative 1, that become minus 2 minus 1. So the answer is negative 4. So therefore, the remainder is negative 4. Last one. Again, if you like, you can pause the video and try it yourself. Otherwise, just watch how I do it. So the condition for this is when px divided by x plus 1, the remainder is negative 11. So in another word, p of negative 1 will give me negative 11. And then the second condition is when px divided by x minus 3 and the remainder is 1. So this means that p of 3 is equal to 1. Now, part 1, we need to find the value of b. So to find b, we need to use this condition here and then to find the value of b. So let's get into it. So first one, so when x is negative 1, p is equal to negative 11. So just write negative 11 is equal to negative 1 plus 1. So which is negative 1 plus 1. And then negative 1 minus 3. And then q of negative 1. Because x is replaced with negative 1. And plus I lots of negative 1 plus 1. And plus b, of course. There you go. So this one here is becomes 0. And then 0 times any number will give me a 0. So that means this here equal to 0. And of course, this is 0 as well. So 8 times 0 is 0. So on the right hand side, leave with b only. So on the left is negative 11. So negative 11 is equal to b. So therefore, b is negative 11. There you go. So part 2. So we need to find the remainder when px divided by x plus 1 and x minus 3. So let me write out the equation first. So px is equal to x plus 1, x minus 3, and times by qx, and add a of x plus 1 and plus b. And we know that p of 3 is equal to 1. So let me just move this up. So this means that 1 is equal to, now 1 plus 3 is 4. And 3 minus 3 is 0. And times by q of 3 and add. Now 3 plus 1 is 4. So just write 4. And then we add b. So this terms here is equal to 0 because 0 times any numbers will give me 0. And I just write this down. So 1 is equal to, now 4 lots of a is 4a. And we know b is equal to negative 11. So I just write minus 11. So now I just solve the equations. So I just move the negative 11 on this side. So that becomes 1 plus 11. So which is 12 is equal to 4a. And I divide by 4 on both sides. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. And this is a. So therefore, we write this down. P of x is equal to x plus 1 and x minus 3 times by q of x. And then we add a, which is 3, and then x plus 1. And we add b, that is negative 11. There you go. So this is p of x. But then we need to find the remainder when p is divided by this. So when px divided by x plus 1 and x minus 3, this will give me the remainder. Okay, this is the remainder when you divide it by x plus 1 and x minus 3. So we have px is equal to ax, which is the divisor, times by the quotient, plus the remainder, which is r of x. But if we divide by ax, we will get the remainder. Alright? So because this is a of x. So therefore, the remainder is r of x will give me 3 lots of x plus 1 and then minus 11. So I just simplify this out. So I expand this, give me 3x plus 3 and then minus 11. So 3 minus 11 is negative 8. So the answer is 3x minus 8. So therefore, the remainder is 3x minus 8. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.